What's up everyone, Dr. Jordan here, and today I'm going to take you through a hip mobility routine. Now, full disclosure on this, I do not have great hip mobility, and it's not for a lack of trying or knowing what exercises to do. I've worked on hip mobility for a long period of time. I was a college football player. Before all of my college workouts, we had to do a hip mobility routine before you could start the lift. And my mobility was better then than it is now, but it was still just never great, and it's a product of my anatomy. I have deeper hip sockets, and so when I try to do hip mobility exercises, I just don't have that range of motion that other people do. I do what's comfortable for me, I do what I can do, and I do the exercises that I need to be able to function throughout my day-to-day life. So I'm going to show you my top 3 exercises that I like to do to help work on my hip mobility before my workouts and just on a day-to-day basis. So the first exercise that we're going to do is going to be seated 90-90s. I always like to start off with this one. It's simple. It's kind of the best exercise to first do when your body's feeling a little cold, just to get you warmed up, get your hips moving. How to execute the exercise. So you're going to sit on your glutes here, down on the ground. Feet are going to be planted in front of you. From here, we're working on internal rotation of our hips. So we're taking our knees and just bringing them to the floor. Now, some people, you'll be able to get all the way to the floor without having any problem. You can see for me, when I get to about this area here, if I go any further, I have to start engaging my lower back to help me get down closer to the floor. So that's past my normal range of motion. So I'm just gonna work until when I feel my lower back starts to engage, I'll stop there and then go to the other side. And again, it doesn't look as impressive as it might for other people, but this works for me to get my hips going. I can still squat with full range of motion, even with just this limited mobility that I have here. It's just a product of my anatomy. So to start off for this routine, for the seated 90-90s, I want you to do 3 sets of 5 reps on each side. So now that we've worked through internal rotation, next we're gonna work on some external rotation of the hip joint. So we're gonna do the seated 90-90 external rotations. Both legs are gonna be in a 90-degree position here, hands flat on the ground. From here, we're working on externally rotating this hip. You're gonna feel the glute in this hip engage. That's what we want during this exercise. Bring it up as high as you can. Some of you might be able to get up to parallel. You see for me, if I get my leg up higher, this one has to come off the ground. We don't want that. You want that front leg to stay planted and bring that leg up as high as you can. Same thing here. We're doing 5 reps on each side. Last movement that we're gonna do are these hip flexor to hamstring rocks. We're gonna be working on stretching our hip flexors through the flexion and extension range of motion with this exercise. We're gonna get a little hamstring stretch with this one too. Same thing, 3 sets of 5 reps on each side. If you're a desk worker, someone who sits for long periods of time throughout the day, this would be my #1 recommended exercise for you to do. Do this to start your day. You should do the whole routine, but if you're only gonna pick one movement to do, this would be the one that I'd recommend for you. So when we're stretching our hip flexors here, we don't want a big arch in our lower back when we're doing this. We want to focus the motion into our pelvis. So what I tell people to do is you want that front leg in a 90-degree position. From here, chest up, but contract your abs. And then from this position here, the focus of the motion is just pushing your hips forward like this. That's the range of motion that we're going through this exercise. So it's not a big lunging, extending your back forward. We're just focusing on pushing our hips forward and then extending backwards, coming up onto our heel. So that's it. That's a 3-move hip mobility routine that you can do to help improve the range of motion in your hips. Like I said, if you're like me and you don't have great range of motion, it's okay. You don't have to compare yourself to anyone else. Just make improvements on where you're at. 3 sets of 5 reps of each of those movements on each side will get you to where you need to be. Thank you for watching. Like, comment, subscribe, all those good things, and let me know what you want to see next.